If you're a lazy couch potato who wants to do a complete 180 and become an athlete and perform like an athlete, be lean, get explosive, jump higher and run faster, I'm going to share with you the best tips on what turned me from a fat gamer as a kid to a competitive basketball player in my teenage years. And if you don't already know, I'm Nick. I was a sheltered, coddled kid who weighed over 230 pounds at 13 years old. And when things felt hopeless, I finally chose to take control of my life, work on my fitness and work on my physical health. But if you, in particular, not only want to lose fat, but want to become an athlete and perform as an athlete in your chosen sport, it could be any sport, basketball, football, any other contact team sport that you can think of, these principles and stuff that I'll be sharing with you apply across the board. Around the time I turned 15, midway through my fitness journey, so I had lost some fat. I was still skinny fat and pretty overweight. Regained a passion for basketball and decided I wanted to play competitive. And when I got to the gym, I wanted to get the most bang for my buck as a skinny fat, kind of overweight guy that I can get so that I can perform the best when I'm playing my sport, which is basketball. The first tip alone that would have saved me a full year of spinning my wheels is prioritizing strength training for athleticism. Early on, I tried fancy routines and I tried getting into plyometrics, but the thing is, people don't say this, but plyometrics don't work for fat people. Plyometrics also don't work for skinny fat guys. They're at a point where they are kind of skinny, but they have excess fat, so the amount of force that you can output is less. So what you want to focus on is what produces the force. That's the first thing. That's the foundation. And these are the things that beginners in the gym, when looking to strength train for performance, want to look out for. Your two friendly neighborhood exercises are the squat and the deadlift. These are the main exercises that you want to be prioritizing above everything else because it translates the most into most team contact sports for explosiveness and performance. Where most of your explosiveness for jumping and running comes from is your posterior chain, rear side, the back side of your body, and mainly from the lower body because everything is produced from the ground. So when you produce force, it starts from your legs. Working squats and deadlifts directly builds on that base. What you want to do is you want to load heavy between 50 to 80% of your 1 rep max as a beginner, and you need to structure these at the start of your workouts. Only do squats and deadlifts a maximum of twice a week. You don't want to do too much because the newer you are to these movements, the more that you can get out of them with fewer sessions, with lower frequency and overall lower needed work in strength training. So your first squat day should be the first day of the week, and you want to do high load, so very intense but low reps. So you'd want to do a couple more sets. You want to stay in the 3 to 6 rep range for squats and deadlifts. You perform these to your best ability, and then after the squats of the squat day, you move on to accessory exercises for stuff that you just want to work on. But compound movements, which are multi-joint movements, like the squat, like the deadlift, should be your main priority. And everything else is kind of secondary. An example way to start, 3 sets of 3 to 6 reps for squats. And your deadlift day, which could be, say, 3 days after, could be 3 sets of 3 to 6 reps. You're not here to do a ton of reps and really build up the lactic acid in the muscle. That's not what you're trying to do. What you're trying to do is increase explosiveness. As a side note for deadlifts, if you're not confident doing deadlifts, you can work up to it by just doing trap bar deadlifts. And you can essentially get similar benefits from trap bar deadlifts whilst not taxing your lower back. You can still get the similar explosive benefits to transfer to your sport. So trap bar deadlifts, 3 sets of 3 to 6 reps. That's how I do my deadlift day. Over time, after a month or 2, if that's getting stale, you can increase the sets. So 4 sets of 4 to 6 reps, or basically anything within that range. And what's just as important as what we do, it's how we do it. So training for explosiveness as a young guy, trying to change his body, lose the fat, and build an explosive base, It's about performing the exercises in a manner that translates exactly to the sport that you're doing. So in basketball, when we rebound the ball, we have a split second to get contact with the ground and push against it and, fly. So the amount of deceleration and acceleration that happens is super, super quick. So what you want to do is, when you're squatting, you're doing velocity squats. These are basically where the lowering part is, let's say 3 seconds. 3 seconds down, 1 second up. You don't want to stay in the hole, which is the bottom sitting part of the squat, for long at all. You want to get down and then immediately jump back up, because you want to work that stretch shortening cycle. That elasticity, that can be trained, and that is what helps translate to your jumping ability, your running ability. So you go control down and explosive up. Use this as a guideline for all your compound movements. Squat, deadlift, bench press even. And when you're practicing the sport of your choice, make sure that live games are separate from strength training days. And that strength training days are separate from practice days. So make sure that you're spacing the strength training in the gym, which wears out your performance on the court or on the field. Make sure that they're given at least 2 days between each other. As far as building up your aerobic training, rather than just short burst training, you can make sure that you're doing your cardio for your sport through the practice of the sport itself, or through running, or through whichever means of cardio best suits you and whichever means of cardio that you prefer. Make sure that the cardio and the aerobic training that you do is at least 4 hours from strength training sessions, preferably on a whole nother day. And now, little by little, you're living your life as an athlete. Just like that, you are taking the journey, which is the best part. That's the thing you gotta fall in love with, the journey over the destination. And after a while, you look back at yourself and think, wow, I was really a lazy piece of shit, wasn't I? And while you're on this journey, there's some benchmarks that you wanna try and hit as your strength increases. What you wanna try and hit is to be able to squat your body weight for reps, to be able to squat 1.5 times your body weight for at least 1 rep, and to be able to trap bar deadlift 2 times your body weight, 4 reps. And always try to improve the speed of how fast you can get out of the hole and accelerate with load. Now, to complete your transformation process would be impossible without dieting, because dieting is the most important factor, arguably, for your body transformation and, your composition. You can't lose fat if your diet's shit. You can build muscle in the gym, but you can't lose fat if you're not in a calorie deficit. It all comes down to energy balance. So what you need to do is find out your maintenance calories, which is, your total daily energy expenditure. Search up a TDEE calculator. That's the one that I initially searched up, or search up a calorie calculator online. These will give rough estimates of your maintenance calories based on your activity, your age, weight, height, all that shit. And when you got that, start tracking your food. It's the best way. It might be monotonous at first, but over time you'll find it super duper easy and not an inconvenience whatsoever. And as you see your weight changes, try and find when it's steady and know that to be your maintenance calories. Subtract 300 from that and you're ready to go. Make sure you're eating protein filling foods, healthy whole foods, and you're fueling with carbs for your training sessions and your sport games. Carbs are your friend when it comes to, being an athlete. And in the end, do all this and you'll be elite, not only in video games, but in the chosen sport of your choice. And the physical real world that you once spent no time improving whatsoever. After 3 to 4 months of sticking to these protocols, you can run faster, jump higher, and literally have leveled up as a person. I hope this video gave some value and inspiration as to how anyone with an inactive past childhood can become an explosive athlete. I'm Nick Steed, leave no more lost potential, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.